Welcome to Valina Crochets. This podcast is about crocheting, having fun, and playing with yarn. Hello to new and returning viewers. Thank you to my new and returning subscribers. This is episode 13 for the month of October featuring Halloween and Rhinebeck. This episode will show you finished objects, works in progress, and new acquisitions. So let's begin. I am wearing my Halloween inspired top. I love the colors, and this is how the yarn came when I purchased the skein of yarn. The yarn is called the Scotty Yarns and it's a hand-dyed sock yarn. It's 85% merino and 15% nylon. I love the way the stripes came because it varied when you went from row to row. And in addition, I created directional crochet by working on the side of one panel, so the stitches changed a little bit. But as you can see, the orange and white changes throughout the top. And on the bottom, I wanted a little flare, so I used shell stitches to create the flare on the bottom. I will post a picture here so that you can see the top and the bottom. The yarn was nice to work with. I used a G hook to create the stitches. And the striping's a little off, but I still think it came out nice. As you can see, the panels here by the shoulders basically almost are even. So that made it really nice when you finish the bottom, when you finish the bodice of the top, to go right here to this part where the shoulders are and the armholes to create the same type of striping, so it looks kind of even. The next item that I created was from this cross stitch Halloween magazine. I purchased the magazine to create a tapestry crochet top so that I could wear on Halloween. They have beautiful designs in here. They have cats, pumpkins, witches, and I decided that I would make it a little simple. Instead of taking one big design, I created panels with the design. So as you can see, I have the black cats and the pumpkins, and it's surrounded by black and white stripes, and the bottom is orange and white stripes that I created on the side, and then I flipped it so that I could work the panels up. And this is created with 4-ply acrylic yarn in orange, black, white, and green. And in the back, I carried the same stripe pattern on the back. And then what I did is I used the witch's hat to create a smaller design on the back. I wanted it a little simple, but I still wanted to scream Halloween with some crochet designs created for the top. The next item I created was these little pumpkin pot holders. And I know in the beginning of the year I started making the pot holders, but then I got involved with different things. But these were so cute that I couldn't pass up making them, so I decided to make them. So this is the pumpkin here. I used 4-ply acrylic yarn, as you can see, in orange, black, and green. And then the next one is the candy corn in yellow, orange, and white. In this picture here, the candy corn is cut flat, and it wouldn't be a candy corn if it didn't have the point, so that's why I created the point on this one. And I'll create a few more, and I can hang around the house for Halloween to decorate the house. Another item that I'm working on for Halloween is this crochet Halloween top. It's called the Halloween Spiderweb Crochet Top by Passionate Kelsey, and I will put the name here so that you can see it. And it was a YouTube video, and she gave a tutorial on it, and I love the web. And that's what inspired me to create the top. I used the black and white stripe as I had seen in one of the designs, but it was a halter top. And I'm not too keen on wearing halter tops, so I decided that I would make it a full top, and I added a back to the top. And what I'll do is do a few more rows of black and white stripes to make it even with the front, and then I'll go around in the border, and the top will be ready to wear on Halloween. And it's really simple. The video was really nice to follow. It was easy to follow. There was no issues, and it works up really fast. Even if you don't want to create the whole top, you can create the spider web, and that makes it fun. I wanted to finish the Halloween items before I proceeded with another finished object. The next finished object was my Rhinebeck sweater. Rhinebeck Sheep and Wool Festival happened during the weekend of October 16th and 17th, and I've been looking forward to this for almost 2 years. And I was glad I was able to go, and I had lots of fun. It was a nice day. It was like 75 degrees, close to 80, and it never happens. Usually it's cold or it's raining or it's fall weather in the 60s. But this was an amazing day, I guess, to welcome us all back to Rhinebeck since we had missed last year. And so I had to wear my Rhinebeck sweater, as everyone called it. They have different sweaters people make, and I made this specifically for Rhinebeck. And what I did was I created a fall sweater, and here's the sweater here, in which I used my own design of creating tapestry crochet leaves. As you can see, it's on the front and also on the sleeve. And again, when I make sweaters, I make sure that the sleeves are the same. And this is the back, which has one leaf on the back of it. The yarns that I used for this sweater were the Yarn Bee Soft Secret Ombre in Harvest Season. This yarn inspired me to create this sweater. And I was so glad that I had the yarn from Lion Brand 24/7 cotton to create it. And the colors that I used in the 24/7 cotton was goldenrod, amber, orange, dragonfly, and a crew. And it took 2 balls each of the Lion Brand 24/7 cotton, and then I only had 1 ball of the Yarn Bee ombre. I wish I had 2, but Hobby Lobby is not that close, so I just went with that 1 ball, and I just created the border on the bottom, and I had enough to put on the middle on the bottom of the back, and on the sleeve it just a little bit because that's all I had left, as you can see, just to incorporate a little bit of all the yarns on the sleeve. Another project that I'm working on has to deal with the Sheep and Wool Festival. So before I show you that, this is a little booklet that I got from the Sheep and Wool Festival. And what it is, it has various yarn companies, farms, sheep. It's like a whole festival with eateries. They have wine testing. They have a building where you can taste different foods and sauces and condiments. But I love the yarn. And when you go, you just have to have a plan and a budget. As long as you can have those two, you'll be okay. Because there's so many beautiful hand-dyed yarns from different farms and companies that you just have to take your time. And because I had a time limit this time, I had to be gone by 3 o'clock. I made sure that whatever I wanted to purchase, I purchased then instead of trying to go back and remember. And I'm pleased with what I got, and I will show you some of the stuff that I purchased in a few minutes. The next item that I want to show you is based on my trips to Rhinebeck. I had purchased this yarn a couple of years ago, and then I decided this year to work on it. And when I was working on it, I realized I didn't have enough yarn, and I needed 3 skeins of this yarn to complete the sweater. So the yarn that I'm talking about is Briar Rose Fibers. And this yarn is nice to work with. It's nice and soft. The colors come out really pretty, and it stripes really nicely. And this base is the 4th of July base, 100% merino wool with 550 yards. So I'm still working on this sweater. And this is the sweater here. Sorry. This is the sweater here. The lighter color is a different yarn. I thought if I had added that to the sweater that it would be enough, and it still wasn't enough to complete it. So this is the briarwood is on the bottom here in 1 shade. And then on the back and the sleeves has this middle shade up here. As you can see, it's a little different from the bottom. And I thought they were pretty close, but I'm going to go with it and see how the sweater turns out when I'm done. And this is created with single crochet, double crochet, and I added a little cable stitch here, if you can see, and then the shell stitch. I always like to fill it in with a little lacy stitch, the shell stitch, and some other textural designs to complete it. Again, this is the yarn. You can see the beautiful colors. It has a mixture of blues, greens, pinks, and amber colors. So let me share with you some of my yarn acquisitions. There's one yarn company that I always make sure that I go to, and it's Tess Designer Yarns. Her yarns are so beautiful and the color is so nice. And this is Superwash Merino Light, 100% wool, and it has about 770 yards. The new company that I purchased yarn from was Bumblebee Acres Fiber Farms. And this is it here. And this is inspired by the Lord of the Rings. And this is a Aran Weight Superwash 100% British Blueface Leicester yarn, 2-ply. And this is 181 yards. And this is called the Horn of Gondor. And I fell in love with the mixture of the burgundy white and amber colors. So I got this one from that company. And then I was like, well, I have to get 2 more so that maybe I can make a vest with just this yarn. And this is called Squishy Sock here. And this is 75% merino and 25% nylon. This is a fingering weight. And again, it's the same colorway as the first one, the Horn of Gondor. The next one I purchased was the Eye of Sauron from the Lord of the Rings. Sorry. It's 75% American Corridale and 25% nylon. It's fingering weight, 3-ply, and it's 434 yards. So with the 3 of them, I should have enough to make a top. But I think the colors are so pretty together. And then these 2 are basically the same. But if you mix them together with this one, hold on 1 second. They look so nice. I can't wait to use this one. The other yarn that I have is from the Sabito Farm Design. I fell in love with the gradient style of the yarn, and this is their purple gradient yarn. And this is 35 yards each of each colors and 90 yards of the natural. And I just love the purple. I just love the way the purple is faded, and I had to get it. And what I also did was purchase one of their patterns. And this is called the Unicorn Mittens by Cindy Craft. And even though I don't knit, I love Tapestry Crochet. So I will create this design in the top. And I'm thinking about using orange and white because I already have the yarn from the Wool Warehouse. And the last purchase that I made was from the Rosy Green Wool. And as you can see, it came as a kit. And I'll post a picture of what inspired me to purchase the yarn. And I'm going to try to create the design in crochet because it also uses Tapestry Crochet. And then it has some plain stitches going through. So I think I can recreate the design in crochet. This is the tag here. And it's called the Rosy Green Wool Cheeky Merino Joy. And this is made in Portugal, and it's 100% organic merino extra fine virgin wool. And each one has about 350 yards to it. That concludes this episode. I hope you enjoyed some Halloween inspired items and a little taste of Rhinebeck. And remember, no yarn is off limits when crocheting. Thank you for watching and have a great day. And remember to subscribe.